Hello, everyone. I'm Shifei with the news. The Swedish government presents the 2020 Spring Fiscal Policy Bill. The COVID-19 pandemic is a serious threat to people's lives and health. Serious economic consequences will follow in its wake. In 5 additional amending budgets, the government, the Centre Party, and the Liberal Party have presented proposals for active measures to limit the spread of the virus and mitigate the economic effects on society. Today, the government presents the 2020 Spring Fiscal Policy Bill and the Spring Amending Budget for 2020 with additional measures. All of these measures total over 100 billion Swedish kroner. During the spring, the government presented a large number of measures to stop the spread of the virus and mitigate the economic effects on society of the outbreak. The measures are intended to provide greater security for those affected by the pandemic by limiting the spread of the virus, combating the effects on businesses and jobs, and providing financial security and transition opportunities for those who become unemployed. They are also intended to create the conditions for recovery after the crisis. Amendments to the current budget. The spread of the virus must be limited. Everyone working in healthcare and infectious disease control must have the tools and resources needed to manage and limit the spread of the virus. Through their responsibility for health and social care, the regions and the municipalities have a crucial role, both targeted and general, to deal with the immediate additional costs resulting from the outbreak. The performance requirements in the waiting list, billions, are being removed temporarily, and funds are being set aside to rapidly increase the number of tests. Government agencies participating in action to limit the outbreak must also have the resources they need. The risk of health care overload decreases the more the spread of infection is limited. Have been removed temporarily, and the resources for disease carriers allowance have been increased. The impact on Swedish jobs and businesses must be pushed back. The economic impact of the coronavirus is hitting the business sector very hard. Many business owners are experiencing great uncertainty and do not know whether their business will survive or what will happen to their employees. To support containing measures to reduce costs, strengthen liquidity, and improve access to financing. The government has proposed a system of support for short-term layoffs. The aim is for more businesses to survive and fewer employees to lose their jobs. A temporary reduction of employers' social security contributions and the general salary contribution for the first 30 employees for 4 months is in place. The social security contributions of self-employed people have also been reduced. Central government will temporarily cover employers' sick pay costs, and sole traders with an F-tax card will be compensated through sickness benefit on day 1st to 14. Extensive measures the government has taken to support viable businesses. Many people are going to lose their jobs. In view of the present economic situation, several temporary changes have been made in unemployment insurance to make it easier to qualify for benefit and to ensure that this insurance provides greater financial security for people who become unemployed. In addition, more measures are proposed to provide good transition opportunities. More funding is proposed for Arbetsförmedlingen, the Swedish Public Employment Service, to deal with higher unemployment and endure equivalent service levels throughout the country. Funds are also being provided to enable more people to participate in measures leading to jobs, such as employment training, extra jobs, and support and matching services. In addition, it is proposed that more places be provided at universities and other higher education institutions, higher vocational education, vocational about education, and folk high schools. Continued fight against the societal problems. Looking beyond the ongoing pandemic, unemployment, climate change, the growing needs in welfare provision, the social problems that must be addressed through further reforms. As soon as the fight against the virus outbreak permits, fiscal policy will be aimed at supporting a rapid recovery. Businesses that use short-term layoffs and various forms of liquidity support must be able to quickly return to full resource use. Sweden is to become the world's first fossil-free welfare nation. Sweden will continue to take a leading role at both national and international level in implementing the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Agenda. The government proposes an expansion of support for the installation of solar cells to enable more people to be granted support. The government also proposes investment in green jobs and a reinforcement of support for the production of biogas. Our universal and tax-financed welfare system supports a high level of labor force participation, contributes to social equality and gender equality, and paves the way for improved life chances for everyone. Regions and municipalities are being given additional general reinforcements of their resources to cope with their strained economic situation. The government proposes providing 20 billion Swedish krona of fresh funding in 2020, of which 12.5 billion Swedish krona is permanent additional funding for the local government sector. These additional resources will contribute to good access to healthcare, schools, social care, and public transport of high quality. The causes of crime must be addressed and organized crime must be broken. The government therefore proposes strengthening the judicial system by providing additional funding for agencies, including the Swedish Prison and Probation Service, the National Board of Forensic Medicine, the National Board of Institutional Care, and the Swedish Court, including the migration courts. Additional funding is also proposed for the Swedish Security Service, the Swedish Data Protection Authority, and Swedish Customs. The virus outbreak can be exacerbated. The situation of people subjected to domestic violence or to honor-related violence and oppression, and children subjected to violence. In troubled times, it is even more important to stand up for democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. The government intends to provide permanent additional funding for state support for the media. Impact of the virus outbreak on public finances. The Swedish economy is well equipped to deal with a recession that is expected to follow in the wake of the virus outbreak. However, public finances are expected to be considerably weakened during 2020 as a result of the economic downturn and the measures taken so far by the government to mitigate the effects of the outbreak. As the economy gradually recovers, once the crisis has abated, public finances are also expected to become stronger. Expenditure ceilings should be raised. In addition to the measures already proposed due to the spread of the virus, it is difficult at the current time to predict what needs for central government measures may arise in the future in terms of expenditure. Given the exceptional situation, the government considers it is important to be able to take necessary measures which the stipulated expenditure ceiling does not currently permit. The government therefore considers that it is justified to raise the level of the expenditure ceiling in 2020 by 350 billion to 1,742 billion Swedish kroners. These proposals are based on a political agreement between the Swedish Social Democratic Party, the Centre Party, and the Liberal Party and the Green Party. And that's the end of the news.